So yesterday, presidential candidate Bernie Sanders went on MSNBC to talk to Andrea Mitchell. He was going to, of course, address things about his campaign, his positions. At least that was the plan. But, of course, Andrea Mitchell wasn't exactly having it. And she decided she was going to ask Bernie Sanders about what he thinks about Hillary. Take a listen.
In a Quinnipiac poll last week, Senator, the first word that came to mind in a word cloud, the first word that came to mind to describe Hillary Clinton from voters was liar. What is the first word that comes to mind when you think of Hillary Clinton?
I have known Hillary Clinton for 25 years, and I know her to be a very hardworking, intelligent person, somebody I work with in the Senate. So I am sorry. I am not going to get into the media game, Andrea, of making personal attacks against Hillary Clinton. I'm not going to do that. I don't think that's what the American people want. And I think we have got to focus on the real issues. Why is the middle class disappearing and almost all new income and wealth going to the top 1%? Why don't we have a trade policy that works for the American worker and not the CEOs of large corporations? Why do we have a system where families cannot afford to send their kids to college? A lot of issues to be talked about. You'll forgive me, but I'm not going to get into attacking Hillary Clinton personally.
Yeah, he ain't having any of that shit, which is great. So, I like that. I like that he's sticking on message. I like that he's not falling into the media trap of, I'm going to go diss Hillary Clinton. No, that's not his shtick at all. His thing is, hey, let's talk about the issues. Revolutionary, I know. Now, there's a few points that I want to address when it comes to this whole thing, this whole phenomenon of the media asking ridiculous questions like this, especially of Bernie Sanders. Now, for one, I don't think corporate media really cares about the issues. Why do you think they try not to talk about the issues? How to get things done, what they're doing to, on immigration, for example, what they're doing on the economy to help try to, get people back to work, and the problems with Wall Street and Wall Street greed, and of course, income inequality. Those are the issues. Those are the issues that we need to talk about. But instead, Bernie's out there talking about those, but when he goes on MSNBC, instead they want to ask him about, what do you think about Hillary Clinton? Seriously? Well, is this what our media is reduced to? Now, one question that I have is, how come they only ask Bernie Sanders what he thinks about Hillary? Now, as far as I know, they haven't really asked her about Bernie Sanders. Now, then again, she has not exactly been very media savvy. She has not been media friendly. I would like to see her out on the Sunday talk shows, making the rounds on supposed liberal TV, which I guess MSNBC doesn't really count anymore as liberal programming, but you get my idea. I would like to go out and see her talk about issues. But she can't even do that. And I think that's a valid criticism of where she's not even going out to talk about the issues. Yes, she, every once in a while she'll unveil something brand new or, a new policy proposal. And then she'll go, hey, you know what, later on, down the line, I'm going to spell out some of the specifics of what I want to do. Well, to me, I don't think that's good enough. I like how Bernie Sanders is going out and talking about the issues. Now, there's another point as well that irritates me, and that is the certain Hillary supporters. And I'm not talking about the voters. I'm talking about certain people in the media or former politicians. For example, take Anthony Weiner. Right? Anthony Weiner. He actually went out there, if you can remember, it was probably a month or two ago, where he's like, oh, how come Bernie Sanders is now a Democrat? He was never a Democrat before. He was an independent. Why did he decide to join the Democrats? Well, it's a pretty obvious answer. You don't want to split the vote. You run as a Democrat, you have a better chance of winning. And you don't end up splitting the vote like what happened in 2000. It's a pretty obvious answer, but the way it was framed by Anthony Weiner was that he's not one of us. He's not a Democrat. So why would you waste your time with him? We've got a perfectly good Hillary Clinton right here. Hey, she's got the Clinton brand and everything. She's got all the experience. And I'm not discounting that. That's an actual relevant point. She does have experience. And she's a political insider. Now, a lot of people are looking at that and saying, yeah, but that's not a draw. Like, you have to understand, Anthony Weiner, being a political insider isn't quite the draw. The draw of Bernie Sanders is that he's not part of the establishment. Yes, he served in Congress for a while. But he's actually not an insider, and he's caucusing for the Democrats, well, because he's actually more liberal than the Democrats. And he's trying to bring the Democrats back, and he's trying to win the thing. He's trying to make a progressive movement. That's really, really important. And then, of course, another surrogate, or supposed surrogate, it's a little complicated in the issue of Claire McCaskill. When she came out, if you can remember, and we covered this, why isn't the media talking about how Bernie Sanders is a socialist? Well, actually, that's almost what you hear on every media appearance. He's a socialist. He's a socialist. Or when he's not even there, he's a socialist. Now, that's kind of died down now that he's actually gotten some significant gains. Remember, the New Hampshire poll has him 7 points ahead. Whereas the Iowa poll, he's only about 7 points behind Hillary Clinton. So he's catching up in the polls. Now the media is sort of trying to figure out how to take him how to not take him seriously, despite all of those gains. It really is kind of interesting, which once again leads me to, I'm not even sure that the media knows how to address Sanders. Other than, of course, being dismissive. And that's the problem. MSNBC has been incredibly dismissive of Bernie Sanders. Why? Well, I can only guess that it's because they've already made their pick. They've already made their choice, and they're going to try to stick to it as much as they can.